Welcome to the Hotelligence Podcast, your strategic vantage point on the changing landscape of hotel safety. Hosted by Jim Courts, a retired FBI DHS investigator, and Don Carr, a former frontline security owner-operator with years of first-hand incident response experience on hotel properties. Every episode brings you closer to understanding the full picture and what the future may hold. Let's begin.
Thanks for joining us on the Hotelligence Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 4, Why Consistency Outperforms Intensity.
So most hotels reach for intensity when something goes wrong.
Right, and almost none of them can sustain it.
And that gap is this episode.
Intensity reacts to moments, but consistency governs across time.
Today we're talking about why the quieter one wins. So let's talk about the appeal of intensity. Well, intensity feels reassuring.
Right, it looks like commitment.
It looks like seriousness.
And it tells ownership that someone cares.
It tells staff something matters.
And under pressure, it feels necessary.
Which is why most hotels reach for it first.
But intensity is difficult to sustain.
Right, and anything that can't be sustained eventually becomes something that can't be defended.
So what intensity actually signals is, well, first of all, intensity shows up in spikes.
Yeah, more attention.
More response.
More involvement than the role requires.
And those spikes create inconsistency.
In a hotel, inconsistency is rarely neutral.
So spikes change expectations faster than any policy can.
Right, and once expectations move, baseline starts to feel like a downgrade. So let's move on to why hotels pay a price for spikes. So hotels operate where consistency protects role.
When behavior spikes, role clarity blurs.
Staff respond differently from shift to shift.
And guests experience an uneven posture.
Yeah, and plaintiffs build cases out of this uneven posture.
Well said. Not the worst night.
Not the best night.
Nope, but it's that variance between them.
Yeah, and variance is what gets documented. Variance is what gets remembered.
Right. Consistency, well, it doesn't feel dramatic.
It feels boring.
But boring is stable.
Well, yeah, and stability is defensible.
So consistency keeps responsibility at the layer where it belongs.
Inconsistency is how responsibility drifts upward.
So a property doesn't usually fail in one decision. It fails across many small ones that didn't quite match.
Right. Governance is just the discipline of making them match. So structure exists to make consistency possible.
Right, not intensity.
Not heroics.
Because heroics are what people do when structure has failed.
Right, and heroics are very hard to repeat.
So the structure, it removes the need for spikes.
Yeah, it replaces them with posture that doesn't depend on who's working.
And that's the test. Whether the posture survives the schedule and the shift change. So different markets, same principle. Different hotels express consistently quite differently.
Correct. A roadside property, for example, doesn't look like a city center high-rise.
And a budget flag doesn't look like a luxury one.
Yeah, the principle holds across all of them, though.
Right. Markets vary, risk tolerance varies, and the guest expectations also vary.
Consistency aligns behavior with whichever reality you're in.
And intensity, well, that reacts to moments.
Consistency governs across time.
And that's why it outlasts pressure. So, in closing, intensity feels like action.
Consistency feels like restraint.
But in hotel environments, restraint is often what protects the role.
And consistency is how that restraint holds across a Tuesday and a Saturday.
Right. Across a quiet shift and a difficult one.
Across the easy guests and the hard ones.
That's the work.
And that's season 2, episode 4 of the Hotelligence Podcast.
Next time, we'll look at why escalation often feels like safety and why it frequently produces the opposite. And remember, we're in this together.
And together, we make hospitality stronger.
We publish a short written insider briefing that goes out alongside each episode on Wednesdays when the episode drops. If that's useful, the link is in the show notes.
Thank you for joining the Hotelligence Podcast, where experience informs smarter, safer hotel operations and prepares you for what comes next. Stay informed, stay confident, and stay connected. As the conversation evolves, Jim Cords and Don Carr will highlight developments that help hotels strengthen their approach to safety and risk management. See you next episode.